Alright, if you hear some buzzing in the background, it's because this dude probably just bought a motorcycle and is testing it out, or is being cool and, you know, taking some friend of his for a spin. Hey everyone, I'm back. I haven't really sat down and talked to y'all in a while. Actually, the last video I was sitting down talking to y'all about something, but it wasn't very pleasant, and I don't want to talk about that right now. I wanted to... You're so cool. Anyway, I wanted to do a sit down and talking kind of video today because the world is in quarantine as of right now, and it's not fun when you're someone who doesn't want to be at home for too long, such as myself. So I went on Instagram and I did one of those question thingies and I asked y'all what I should talk about today. So I guess today is kind of a Q&A. I did have some video ideas that I would want to do, but I haven't really planned out how that's gonna work just yet. The reason why I film a lot of my videos in my car is because I feel more comfortable filming in my car than I do in my room at my house right now. So you're back. Anyway, let's get to these questions. Actually, all these questions are from my friends in real life, so thanks guys. Are you just showing off to me now? Because I get it, you're really cool. One of the questions I got was, how is the quarantine going? Well, I'm outside, so it's going great. It's alright. I mean, I'm knocking off things in my to watch list on Netflix and stuff, so I'm productive in a sense. Actually, yes, I am productive in that sense, because as a theater major, I haven't seen a lot of movies. So I'm just still studying, even though I'm not going to school, you know what I mean? But I also just feel kind of super lazy right now and not productive in that way. So it's weird. I just like going out and doing things. I don't like being at home for too long, which is why I like going to school and, you know, working sometimes. I feel like I don't do anything productive and I get really lazy. I just realized I haven't really put makeup on like this in so long. Like the last time I was wearing makeup was me getting ready for In the Heights. Actually, two of my friends have asked me to talk about In the Heights. So let's talk about In the Heights. I loved being a part of it. It's one of those musicals that I feel like I would really fit in because I love hip hop, and hip hop is one of my go-to styles. It's the one I've been doing for the longest. And it's a hip-hop musical about brown people. What's up? And also there are no like villains or nothing super majorly evil happens. It's just, you know, people living their lives and letting you into their neighborhood, which I love. Also, it's an ensemble and dance heavy show. And so in a sense, I felt challenged because it's a hip-hop musical. I'm not used to stuff like that, but I really, really enjoyed it. And why do things just keep hitting my window? What the heck? I had a great time. But unfortunately, due to this whole pandemic, our production was also cut short one weekend. We were supposed to have a 2-weekend run, but thankfully, we got to do 4 performances. We had 3 show days, and then our preview night was open to local high schools around our area. So technically we had 4 performances, which is more than a lot of people can say right now, which I'm very, very grateful for. And it's just ridiculous when artists work so hard for 2 weekends, for a 2-weekend run, and then it gets cut off, and it's not something that they can really do anything about. I talked about this in my previous vlog too. If you want to go watch that, I cried about it actually. It's fine. The crazy thing about huge crises like this is that that's what really brings people together, and it shows in that sense. Our cast got a lot closer through tech, and then also the cancellation of our show. We're kind of this big old barrio family now. I can roll my R's now. What's up? Thank you, In the Heights. I'm bilingual. I can speak Spanish. I did In the Heights. Actually, the one who asked that was Lau. She was our Vanessa, and she's a star. So go watch our bootleg. So I got another question from my friend Anthony, and he wanted me to talk about the Filipino stereotype of America using us as default nurses. He also asked me to talk about experience through seeing art, being in art, and creating art. Here's the dealio. I haven't done a For Real Talk in a long while. For Real Talk is the series I have on here where I just interview my friends and I talk about usually artistic things, but mainly I just highlight them as a person because I feel like my friends are really cool, and I feel like my audience on here needs to experience them for the awesome people they are. And I want to talk about these two topics with Anthony in a For Real talk. So I'm just going to talk about it a little bit, and then when we can interact with human beings again, I'll film it with him. Actually, I believe it was for one of our dress rehearsals. One of our ASMs, assistant stage managers for In the Heights, Erin, was reading a book called It's like Brown People or Brown Skin, White Mind or something like that. And it's basically informational about the Filipino culture and how it's been completely whitewashed. The European Americans used to view Filipinos as savages. They treated us the same way they did Native Americans and the African Americans who were trying to immigrate. And they kind of used us. They played us a little bit. Okay, so in the 1900s, this is just from what I remember. I don't know how accurate this is because it's just from my memory. They used to trade citizenship in the US for nursing help, if that makes sense. In order for us Filipinos to be American citizens, we would have to be nurses for the US in the war. And this was like in the early 1900s, so it wasn't even that long ago. It was probably like 3 or 4 generations ago. So it's kind of crazy that right now, a lot of stereotypes from Filipinos is that we become nurses or doctors or something in that medical field, which I'm very grateful that I didn't really have that kind of pressure on me growing up. It wasn't something that my parents drilled in me about being when I grew up. It wasn't like, hey, so you're gonna go to school, by the way, you're gonna be a nurse when you're older or something, or you're gonna be a doctor or whatever. It was probably in their minds highly suggested, but they didn't really instill it upon me as this is the way of life and this is how you're gonna be, this is what you're gonna be in life, and you can't fight us on that. Thankfully, they gave me and my sisters the privilege to choose our own path in life and our own careers. For some reason, mine happened to be the performing arts, so I wanted to bring that up because that's something I really want to talk about on this channel, and I really want it to be with Anthony. So teaser for whenever that happens. And yeah, my experience through seeing art, being in art and creating art, I believe that it has shaped a lot of the way I think nowadays. It helps me figure out who I am and my thoughts and what I want in life and my relationship with people in kind of a psychological and also at the same time non-psychological way. It helps me understand people. The thing about performing arts, especially theater and musical theater, that I've learned is that, at least for me, like when I watch a movie, I like the movies that I watch, the ones I do like, because I see something in myself in the film, whether it's like an element of the film, a concept, or an idea, or even a character. I see myself in that, and so it lets me feel that I'm not alone, that somebody else, whether it's fictional or real, feels the same way that I do or has gone through the same things as me. And so when I watch it, I feel like I'm hanging out with a friend who knows exactly what's happening and can relate to me in that sense. Creating art's different. I feel like every person, every individual, every artist has something unique about them that they can bring. For example, if we're going to talk about theater and Broadway, the original Evan Hansen and Dear Evan Hansen was Ben Platt, and he gave a phenomenal performance. I've never seen it, but he gave his own performance and he originated the role. Now it's being played by Jordan Fisher. Well, it was, but hopefully it will be soon again. And even though it's the same exact character, it's the same exact lines, it's the same words, the same songs, the same scenarios, it's slightly different because it's played by somebody else and they have their own experiences and their own personalities that they bring to that character, and it changes the story slightly in a sense. And I really love that about theater and about live performances and the performing arts. And it's not that one is better than the other. That's what I hear a lot about theater and, you know, Broadway shows. When they have an original cast, it's near perfection and that's the only way people see it. When somebody else comes in, they're like, I wish they were as good as Daveed Diggs in Hamilton because blah 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 XYZ. And it's not that one's better than the other, it's just that that person has a different take and a different perspective and something else that they can bring to the character than the person who originated it when it originated. If that makes sense. I would love to talk about this in a different video. I guess this whole video is just concepts for future videos, so whatever you like, let me know. Aha! My friend Josh asked or said, musical theater dancing and how musical theater is just as hard as any other sport. Listen, I was involved in sports growing up. I did martial arts for a few years. I did volleyball, I played basketball, and I really enjoy athletics. But I have never injured myself during all those years of sports, and I've injured myself way more times just in dance than I have doing sports like my entire life. I think the most injury I've had in like all the years I've been in athletics is I probably just I think I twisted my ankle once, and I probably gotten hit on the head with like a basketball or something by accident. So, oh no. But in dance, I've strained my shoulder, I've thrown my back out, like I've cried so many times. I think just like anything, it's hard for you to fully understand the process of something unless you've actually gone through it. So I've never played soccer. I played it for fun, but like on a league and like for reals in school, no idea. Same with dance. You see a ballerina and you're like, oh, she's just lifting her leg, so cool. But then you try it yourself and you're all, wow, my leg only goes like right here. Challenging. Also, on a different level, you're doing musical theater dance, which means you're not only dancing, you're singing, you're acting, you're also dancing with multiple people. Y'all could be doing something different at the same time. Also, if you're gonna do this professionally, especially on Broadway, you're doing this 8 times a week. There are only 7 days in a week. How does that even happen? And it's for hours on end. Before you even go perform, you're in rehearsals, you're learning it, you gotta pick it up quick, and it's all based on skills and how much training you put into it, and it's really intense on the physicality. Not that I'm diminishing anything else, but dance is difficult, alright? It's not an easy way out for your career choice. It's also very competitive. Oh my gosh, have you ever seen a chorus line? There are so many people who want a spot in the ensemble. You're not even a lead. You don't have any lines. You don't say anything. You're literally there to just sing, dance, and smile. What the heck? My hand is glowing right now. This just became a rant video on different topics. Sorry if it's super long, but here we are. My friend Daniel said, can we please get a video on friend zoning? I'm not entirely sure what that entails. If you are talking about being friend zoned, I have much experience in that. If you're talking about friend zoning someone else, I don't know what to do there. Actually, if ever, I'll have Daniel be in a video about this. If you guys want a video on friend zoning, let me know. I'm gonna hit up Daniel. We're gonna talk about it. But basically, he said it's hard to do that without some level of gaslighting. I guess, I don't know. Only because each person has a different perspective and outlook on something. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on the situation, specifically, and how close friends you guys are. It depends on the friendship and what you need in order to heal for yourself, because putting yourself out there is very scary. Sometimes you may need some distance from them. You may need to take some space and just not be around them for a while because it hurts maybe a little bit too much. And if you need that, then go for it. And the other person needs to understand and respect that. If not, then they're suckers. Sometimes it can just, you know, flow under the bridge and you're all, okay, cool. Did that, said that, moving on. So I'm calling out my friends. Anthony, Daniel, Lau, you want to talk about stuff? Let's talk about stuff. Once this whole thing is over, we're gonna do some for real talks. But that's all I have for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, like it please. I hope everyone's doing well and staying safe and staying positive about this whole situation. I am fine. I feel like I've ranted for way too long and I have quite a bit of editing to do, which is fine because now I have time. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today in my car. I will see you next time in another video. Bye.